Welcome everybody to What's Up Bolts. I'm Fernando Ramirez. That is Dan and Daygo. I cannot be my usual loud self because I still am in the media. I don't know what you call it. In the media
Center,
room,
whatever, the building. Who cares now? There's more important things than your location, my guy. You can tell by my background where the hell we're at in our day on this Sunday today, the Lord's Day.
If you guys can't see, if you're on the audio version, Dan and Daygo has Moe's today as his background.
Shout out to the Simpsons.
Simpsons. Dan, why do you have Moe's behind you?
It's unbelievable to me. It's unbelievable. I have Moe's in the background. Maybe we'll make this a Sunday tradition. If they lose, I might start using this as my background because, I mean, hell, we should all hit the bars at this point. It might be a long season. Who knows what's going to happen? I know it's only week one, but, you know, I mean, we'll get into it in a little bit, but, you know, I'm going to have to find something, though, for when they win. So, I mean, if you guys have any suggestions, raid the comment sections. Let's see what cool virtual backgrounds we can come up with as a team. So, yeah, I'm at Moe's today for now because I'm drinking. That was just to give you a quick summary as to where I am in my state of mind. If I could describe the way I think of this team as a meme, it's the Gordon Ramsay meme with children versus with adults. The offense, I'm like, oh, so sweet, so beautiful. And with the defense, I'm like, you effing donkey. It's unbelievable, dude. Night and day difference. Night and day difference. You can pull up the meme if you want, if people are more visual, but that's up to you.
No, Dan, I think everybody got it by your how you said it. I think you painted a good picture, but Dan is obviously speaking about it. It's been 2 minutes and we still haven't announced it, but the Chargers do end up losing 36-34 to the Miami Dolphins. Just one of those games like Dan mentioned. I mean, the defense they couldn't stop Tyreek Hill. They couldn't stop
I don't even know if they punted. Did they even punt? I don't even know if they punted.
They punted. Let me look right here. They punted
one time. While you're doing that, Fran, let me ask you a question.
The Chargers punted 3 times.
Let me ask you a question. Did all of a sudden Urban Meyer get hired in the scouting department? Like, was he in one of those meetings saying, "Hey, who's this number 10? Should I include him on the scouting report, or should we just leave him off?" Like, it's just unbelievable to me, honestly. Like, just we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna let you set me up. But it's just unfathomable to, allow essentially a 7-on-7 game to one person. You hold him. I think he had like 200 yards. You hold him to 100 yards and you win this game for how, like, I'm no math magician, but that seems pretty doable with 11 guys on the field. It's just, it is insane, dude. It is insane.
He had 215 yards on 11
215, my God.
2 touchdowns. You know what the funniest part is, or not funny, but he said before the season that he thinks he can get to 2,000 yards. Well, he's only 1,700 and
he's off to a hell of a start.
45 yards away from.
He's off to a hell of a start.
75 yards or 85 yards away.
Who cares about math? I don't care for it. I don't like it. I barely passed it.
But Dan said it. I mean, the Chargers they couldn't stop them. And you know what's funny? Right now we're talking to Sebastian Joseph Day, and he says, how many yards did they have rushing? Like, they stopped the run, but they had 20 attempts for 70 yards. Yes, that's good, but in the first half, they couldn't stop the run. I mean, they were.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
In the second half, they went away from it because I think they discovered, hey, we can throw against these guys.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly. Stopping the run. Mike McDaniel, shout out to him, by the way, the vape king over there. Who knows what was in his vape, but it was working today because he must be a fan of the program, because very early he started out doing what I thought should have been the game plan to begin with. Challenge him up front and run the football and take your shots wherever Derwin James is not. It's just crazy the way, you can't clone Derwin James like we talked about in the chat. You can't clone him and put him all over the place. It was crazy to think that Joey Bosa, relatively quiet, Mac, relatively quiet. There wasn't a lot for them to do because, number one, either the ball was going away from him or between Mike McDaniel and Tua, very intelligently, to their credit, which, by the way, mentioned previously on Thursday or whenever this dropped, getting the ball out quick. There was relatively no hits on Tua, I don't think, until like maybe somewhere middle in the third or fourth quarter in the second half. Like, it's just insane. Like, they executed brilliantly their game plan. Like, Mike McDaniel, here's a hot take right now. Mike McDaniel, if you get a competent quarterback like the son of Odin, he's winning a Super Bowl, dude. Like, unbelievable. The guy's an offensive genius. The way he can make Tua with the noodle arm and everything else look like he was, gosh dang Dan Marino out there again. That's probably why he probably took Dan Marino's brain out of his head, and put it into Tua for this Sunday's game. Because credit where credit is due. Everyone knows I'm not a Tua guy, but credit where credit is due. He did exactly what he needed to do and was smart with the game plan and everything else.
It's incredible, Dan. I mean, crossing routes. The whole games. They kept on doing crossing routes, and that's how they exposed the Chargers defense.
Yeah.
Last year, the Chargers played man-to-man, and they had the safeties a little bit closer to the line. This year, it unraveled, and it wasn't a good time. It was from the beginning. Yep. And honestly, Dan, it probably could have been even more points scored if you think about it. There was 2 turnovers in the red zone for the Miami Dolphins. So,
exactly. And if it wasn't for Mr. Noodle Arm underthrowing, it could have been even worse.
Sebastian Joseph Day said that yes, they lost the game.
Tell him thanks for letting me know. I didn't know.
No, hold on.
I know. I'm just being an ass. Don't worry about it.
I know that the Dolphins are a good team. But they know that the Dolphins are a good team, but this was more of an outlier kind of game. He's like, well, think about it. Like, he's like, they always say that the turnover battle always wins. How many did we have? 2. How many did they have? 0. But it's just the defense. And Eric Kendricks, Sebastian Joseph Day, Khalil Mack, Derwin James, they all said the same thing. We got to do a better job of getting our offense the football back. We have to make stops. We can't do. He's like, and the funniest part is, I was thinking to myself, how many, like, if you told somebody, hey, the Chargers scored 34 points against the Dolphins, somebody would probably be like, oh, yeah, then they must have won.
Yeah,
like, it is
that's
80% of the time.
Yeah.
And they just couldn't stop it. You know what's interesting, though? I thought when Miami missed the extra point, I thought, ooh, this is going to come back and bite them.
Yeah.
And the Chargers are going to come back and keep the field goal. And Dan, I want to go back to those last few plays.
Yeah.
I don't think the Chargers had enough pressure to Tua Tagovailoa like they did last year. Last year, they were sending pressure. They were doing a lot more. Today, I think they were – and you know why they did it? No Joey Bosa. Today, they had Joey Bosa, and I feel like they relied too much on the forefront and didn't send enough blitzing like they did last year. They were sending a lot of blitzing. Today, they barely did. I mean, they sent Derwin a couple of times, but it wasn't the same.
Yeah, yeah. And the few times they did – it either got picked up or he scrambled out of it. So it's like, it's just crazy. Like, I kid you not, I wrote notes for the game. That way I'd be prepared for this because we're an official program up in this mother. But literally what I have from the first quarter, 7-on-7 football and defense. They have no idea what's going on. They're getting beat in the edge. The other thing I put, Charmin Ultra Soft in all caps. They were getting manhandled up front. They were getting beat up. They were not being, even when these guys caught the ball, they weren't being physical and really laying down the wood on these guys.
I'm so sorry, but I have something. Our sister Melissa has just sent me a video of Dan and Daygo.
No.
During the game.
No.
I'm going to show it to you folks because that's how much I care about you. This is Dan and Daygo during after the Chargers game.
Disgusting. Like I'm watching a 7-on-7 drill, except only one team is running it. Can't take this crap, Danny.
What was the scene at the apartment like yesterday?
After the debacle,
the
dog ran one way. The roommate ran the other. I grabbed some beer out of the fridge and locked myself in the bathroom for about half an hour, and then I left.
Dude's a legend.
That's a famous. Shay and Irvin. If you guys watch Dan Patrick, Shay and Irvin obviously is a guy that regularly jumps on and does stuff there, and he's kind of, I think he's Dan's spirit animal. Like Dan wishes he could go off like that. So, So basically, I have to go back to that point that you made, though. That the ending was really telling about what the game looked like. Vic Fangio sent pressure they hadn't gotten to
played
Herbert
him.
almost at all.
Yeah.
At the very end,
He played him.
when he needed to, boom. He sent pressure. He got to Vic Fangio, or he got to Herbert, and they disrupted him, and that's what ended the game. And then obviously that intentional grounding didn't help matters at all. But it's
right
just
there, you just got to be smarter, dude. You got to throw it towards somebody. Like I was talking about this with little Daniel today. Shout out to that. Shout out to your godson. Shout out. I'm not even gonna lash out at him. But it's such a lost art. For how many times would Peyton Manning and Brady not take sacks because either they're getting rid of the ball soon or they're throwing it away like right away?
Well, I mean,
when they're closing in, like
if we're gonna be honest, that's what Tua was doing today. He was just, at times, Joey was in his face and he would just throw it into the ground, throw it away.
It's a lost art. You live to fight another day. Like not every play is yours to make.
I get it. At the end, I get it. I think you're talking about that play where he got sacked at the 1 yard line and they gave the
they only gave up like a sack or two today, and that was basically it.
Three. But you're talking about the one where JC Jackson makes that interception, comes out.
That was another one. I cannot believe that. I cannot believe.
Can I play devil's advocate?
You're gonna tell me there was open space. Don't even tell me.
No.
Not everyone's Antonio Cromartie up in this.
No. What I was gonna say.
Don't tell me momentum either. I'm gonna lose my mind.
No. I think what happened is JC Jackson got very excited, especially because of everything that's happened.
Emotions
that he thought, maybe I can. I know,
emotions lie to you, Frau.
If I can think of it, I think it was like that. I'll tell you one thing though. He had that bad play right before the half that they gave up the field goal, and he turned a good play into a bad play. Then the next after they punted,
your devil's advocate. Can you see it? Oh,
the Bible?
You can't see it. Yeah, it's the Bible. That's what I think about your devil's advocate. Get out of here with that garbage.
No, and then but obviously then he gave up that big play to he gave up a couple bad plays, but it's Brandon Staley said after the game, it's not just on JC Jackson. Like nobody that played cornerback defended well, and that's true. Yeah, they couldn't stop it. And I'm telling you, it's crossing routes. Crossing routes was beating him. At the end, what beat him was down the field. Josier Taylor, for some reason, like I don't know what the safety was doing up top, and I can't remember who the safety was.
Yeah.
But on that last play to Tyreek Hill, there was a lot of third and longs that they were just they were getting in, and you're just like, what is going on? So, Dan, we kind of have to get into it. And Brandon Staley was asked, like, what's going? Like, you've been here. This is your third year now, and the defense just it doesn't look like it's gotten any better. And I think that's a fair question.
It is.
I think that's a fair question.
It is.
The defense has not improved. The secondary is still the same. They're giving up big plays. It's like you said a little while ago. You can't make 11 carbon copies of Derwin James. And if you notice, the Dolphins were throwing and going to the opposite side.
Yeah, he got challenged once, and it was
they were going to the opposite side.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the whole game plan. Just credit where credit's due. Once again, absolute masterclass from Mike McDaniel. I don't even know if he was sober for this thing, but shout out to him, dude. The guy's a legend. Like, just absolute. You could tell from the beginning he was just toying with them. Like the fact that he hurried up on the ball and forced them to waste a timeout because of a bad challenge. He was toying with them from the get-go. And but like going back to what you're saying, like it that is exactly the problem. Like it hasn't improved. I think what's funny was Asante out there at all? I didn't hear his name at all.
Asante was there. Yeah, he had a couple of good hits. Do you know the one?
Maybe he was on Waddle or what? Waddle didn't really do much.
No, it's just here. Waddle had 4 for 78, and 22 of those came on right before halftime.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
So yeah, it was Tyreek Hill. No, and the thing is, in the first half, it was basically Tyreek Hill, and then in the second half, they started using Smythe. They started using Crocroft, Barrios, but it just was not a good scene for this defense, especially when Dan. Let me give it to you like this: Justin Herbert completed 69.7% of his passes.
Yeah.
Austin Eckler ran the football for 117 yards. Joshua Kelly had 91 yards rushing.
Don't try and butter me up now. Don't try and butter me up now with the bright spots.
No. Listen to what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
I'm saying all that and they lost. And that's
Yeah.
the bad part. And I know
Yeah.
week one, people say week one should not be looked at. You shouldn't put it under a microscope, but this is different. Like, this
Yeah.
is just the same stuff that's happened the last 2 years carrying over. And
Exactly.
I have to ask, where was Kenneth Murray on that fourth down play?
Yeah.
On that fourth down that they completed, I can't remember when it was, but he was supposed to be. I think he had the tight end, and the tight end just literally caught it and walked right past the first down marker, and
Yeah.
it
But
just
it goes to
it
what
didn't
we
look
talked
good.
about. It goes to what we talked about. We talked about this not too long ago, where I said some of these guys were on the same team that got Anthony Lynn fired, and I don't think these players have improved that much. Some of them, it's
Yeah.
like I don't understand it. I don't see why they're keeping some of these guys, especially like I understand the whole first round picks and we want to develop and yada yada yada, but I don't see it. I still don't see
Yeah.
it. And you have Eric Kendricks in there, and you're still getting sliced up front. So it's like I don't know what's going on at this point. And then the other thing is no Armstead, and we got two highly paid edge rushers not getting sacks or not producing. So it's definitely going to be interesting what comes on, because the other thing is this, right? You already have the terrible narrative from last year's wild card game against Jacksonville. They mentioned it in their all-in stuff. Yeah, that's cool. Awesome. Shout out. But it's like now you have this game where, I don't want to say it's eerily similar, but it's similar in the sense that towards the end of the game when you needed to go for it, you kicked the field goal and it ends up costing you in the end.
Oh, you would have gone for it?
Frown. What do the Chargers have to lose at this point? Like, I know I'm gonna go for it. Because I think it was like in the red zone anyway. It was gonna be a short field goal.
The crazy part is about this is that either way Staley ends up losing.
Yeah.
Like, if he would have gone for it on fourth down and doesn't hit it, it doesn't make it, you're gonna criticize him.
Well, no, I wouldn't.
No,
I wouldn't.
No,
I
not
would
you, not you. No, I'm saying my bad. I'm saying in general.
Yeah, the Stooges. But the Stooges, the Stooges.
No,
the
I know. But
else.
then the defense. Now you're torching the defense because, man, you had 3rd and 15 and they were backed up.
Yeah.
And they hit Tyreek Hill down the field. And it's like the safety was laid over the top.
Yeah.
Jazier Taylor didn't even Jazier Taylor was turned around.
Yeah.
Didn't know
he just
what was
watched
going
him run
on.
past.
So.
He was like a ticket master. Just took his ticket and he just went. But
and they took out J.C. Jackson at one point. Like, I think J.C. Jackson wasn't in there the last 2 drives or 3 maybe.
And the other thing I'm going to say, when it comes to that, my bad, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
Okay. When it comes to that, right, you and I have talked about this extensively. This is why, personally, my personal preference as a head coach, I would not call plays. Because not only is everything fall with you, and obviously, yes, the head coach is always the buck always stops with the head coach. But now, like, you can't point to the defensive coordinator because we know it's not Derek Ansley calling these plays or getting these personnel groups in there most likely. We know it's most likely the head coach calling these plays and everything else. So it's like it's a double whammy for him. And it's like instead of I don't want to be cold-hearted or a scumbag about it, but instead of insulating yourself to where last year you insulated yourself offensively and you fired Joe Lombardi, and it's kind of like, all right, it was a Lombardi thing, not a me thing. And like on defense, there was this weird rift where all of a sudden Ronaldo Hill, resigns or whatever, and then he goes to Miami. And now you have a new guy, and it's like, yeah, shout out to him if he was calling the plays, but we know it's just a figure spot. And it's like right there, he's not only in charge of the whole team in the direction, but he's in charge of another facet of it. So it's like I still don't like it. I think few guys can pull it off, but that's going to be something he needs to think about, because right now it's going to start getting loud again. And it's like you have to control the narrative. You have to control the team and maintain all those things. Then the other thing, I was texting this in the chat. I honestly felt like this was really personal for Mike McDaniel. I don't know why. I felt like this was a very personal thing. I don't think anyone asked him about his comments of Staley during the week, right? To Staley, what Mike McDaniel said about Staley. So I don't know what's going on around there. I don't know if it's the WWE fan in me trying to find up some storylines and some promos, but there was something underneath there. So it's just not looking good.
They, I mean, Brandon, and the thing is that whenever they lose, Brandon's always, and the defense does bad, he puts it upon himself. and Derwin said it has to fall on the players, but I don't know, and I don't even know what to say now. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
It's a
kind of the
consistent
same
thing.
thing,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and the thing is too. I mean, 70 rushing yards, I get it, but at the same time, it's not the rushing yards or not being able to stop the run. It's not being able to stop explosive plays,
Get off the
not getting
field.
off the field on
Yeah.
third down. This was let me see. 44 they were 4 for 9 on third down, 3 of 5 in the red zone. Um 466 passing yards. I mean, it's not good. The Chargers had 70 yards in penalties. The Dolphins had 38. Um, yeah, it just wasn't
Yeah. No,
a good performance by the defense,
not at
and it
all.
doesn't get. And I know that Tyree or Brian Tannehill threw 3 interceptions today, but it doesn't get any easier. Next week, you're gonna have to try and stop Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's not
And
gonna be any easier. If anything, today he was throwing safeties
yeah.
and corners to the side like there were nothing. So
Yeah.
it's
And going back real quick to a point you made earlier about, I forgot who, talking about turnovers. Let's look at those turnovers. One was like a muffled snap, I think, and the other was a punt that Tua threw at him. Like, let's be real also. Those were some of the few stops you got, and it was only because they were just bad plays. Like, literally, Miami just committed bad plays. So just like the
no,
craziest part is too
I agree
sometimes.
with you.
Yeah, and the craziest part is too sometimes they try and bring in these personnel groupings with more defensive linemen to try and stop the run, but it's like, dude, it just doesn't get any better half the time, and it's like, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know if I just have no idea what it could be. I don't know if these players are more pass rushers, and in the run game they just get killed because they're not that physical. But I think that physicality is what's missing a little bit. You're not physical up front, and teams smell that right away. So it's going to be interesting what week 2 does, because if I'm the Titans watching this tape, I'm probably not throwing the ball at all, dude. I might just run it.
And then going back to that other point that you were making, I mean, the defense it's like you said, like they can't stop the pass, they
And
can't,
they
like
look lost.
it's always something. It's always
The
something.
DBs
And
look
then
lost.
and you see like Derwin trying to motivate these guys and telling them, "Hey, come on, let's do it,"
Yeah.
and they just can't get there. But you're right. I mean, today I was going to say the Chiefs because I thought of Tyreek Hill. The Dolphins attacked the Chargers at their weak point, which was you're not going to be able to stop Tyreek Hill. Like, plain and simple. Like, you're not going to be able to stop him. So they went that route. Next week, I bet you the Tennessee Titans say, you're not going to be able to stop Derrick Henry. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and honestly, Dan, and I know, like, we've talked now 23 minutes about the defense. The offense, I mean, they get some credit, but at the same time, on that play, they should have ran the football on that third down where
instead of a screen, I don't even remind me.
No, the one where Herbert gets sacked and he got sacked like one yard off of the end zone after the JC Jackson. The run was saving you the whole, like, you were killing them. You might as well should have just ran it theirs. But
here comes the dessert now, because that was the only bright spot of this game right now.
All in all, I got to give credit to the one thing I didn't understand, the Mike Williams aspect of this. I know he went out. Yeah. But in the second half, I was surprised they didn't go at him more. Yeah. I thought there were times where he was open and they could have gone to him more, but I was just very surprised that they didn't try and attack that, especially when Mike had a monster game against these guys last year. Yeah. But Dan, I was kind of thinking about it, and I'm not trying to make excuses I'm not trying to discredit the Chargers in any way. But last year, this team had already faced the San Francisco 49ers, and then they came here to face the Chargers. The 49ers could have softened them up a little bit last year.
You're saying that they were fresh. Yeah, they're fresh now. Yeah.
So, and I don't know, but you
had
so many weeks to prepare for this. Like, I don't know. I'm like you. I'm kind of at a loss for words, because it's like you try and explain it, but like there's just no positive way to spin it. I mean, the defense was just not good.
you need I think right now is probably the time, or you might need to go back to a drawing board and see what's something new you can do and come up with that's going to work. Because I don't know, we talk about how he's a Vic Fangio guy and coming from history and all that stuff. Maybe he doesn't have the guys to make his type of scheme work. I mean, maybe he has to just kind of come up with some.
But that I don't know about that, because I mean, what are you trying to tell me? That like he doesn't want Joey Bosa, he doesn't want some of these, because I mean,
I'm not saying he doesn't want some of them. I'm saying like clearly what's going on now.
He's had these guys now for this is his third year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It clearly hasn't worked.
But how can that's my question though? Like, how are these not his guys though? I mean, this is like the first year after Anthony got fired, and it was I understand last year.
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
But this year, I just can't. Yeah, I can't.
I see what
this is saying. His defense. Like,
but I mean, like
he wants Alohi Gilman back there. He wants JT Woods back there.
Yeah.
Like, there's no other way around it. And I thought I was surprised Josh Palmer and Quentin Johnston didn't have a bigger game as well.
I thought Josh Palmer was hurt, honestly. I only saw him randomly line up somewhere, and I'm like, oh shit, this guy's in the game, all right.
But like I said, I thought Justin had a good game.
100%. Just the sacks were the only problem.
Yeah.
And the intentional grounding, but like honestly,
Palmer had one catch for 4 yards.
I didn't even notice it. I guess honestly, Kellen Moore right now is worth his weight in gold. Like, period. The run game, I don't think I've seen it like that in a good while. They probably literally had very little to no negative plays. The most they probably got negative was maybe a yard or no gain, and it's like completely revitalized, completely different from a year ago. So the offense right now is not the problem. Shout out to them. They played absolutely amazing. And I think I think the thing I love the most around this was it. I think the first drive, 94 yards, 14 plays, ate up 7 minutes and 23 seconds. That's exactly the type of offense you want to have, especially because, they
were mixing and matching the hurry-up offense.
Exactly.
They were doing everything right.
The best part, too, they had a good rotation between Eckler and Joshua Kelly for the most part, and Kelly was productive. When's the last time you've probably seen two running backs get over 90 yards rushing in a game for the Chargers?
Yeah.
I can't think of one. Maybe Michael Turner in the LT days. I have no idea. But it's like, this is exactly what this team needs. This is exactly what the offense should be, because this is the way you win games. You keep, obviously it didn't win them today, but the whole idea behind it is that you're keeping drives going and long enough to keep the defense off, or keep the opposing offense off the field. So that way they can't get in rhythm. That way they can't do things like that. And so obviously today was just unlucky offensively, because the defense was just bad. But the offense, you can't even put anything on them. They did everything they could, except obviously that final drive, they kind of fell for the okie doke. But, it is what it is on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, that's going to be a big issue moving forward. I mean, especially like I said, in a couple of weeks, you face Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Like, even though the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were able to do well against them, like, that's going to be a really rough game. And then even next week, I mean, DeAndre Hopkins and 26-0. Oh my God!
I stopped watching that game. I knew it was going to be garbage.
Wow. So yeah, I just Joe Morley actually texted me. He's like, "Hey, is this right or no?" And it's the AFC West standings, and the Raiders are 1-0. The Chargers, Chiefs, and Broncos are all 0-1. I started laughing.
So he's hyped. He's hyped for his Raiders.
Well, at least he can be hyped for 1 week, because
I know
it'll all come. They didn't
look good either. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, Dan. I just moving forward, this defensive thing isn't going to go away. I mean,
no.
Last year their defense was bad up until that last stretch, and that stretch. Yeah. They didn't play very good teams. I mean, it's just in all honesty. So, yeah, moving forward, the defense, the spotlight is now on the defense, to be honest. But as we wrap up here, game ball, who are you giving it to?
Mike McDaniel. No, maybe I'm gonna cut it in half. I'm just to show my ego.
You're gonna deflate it like Tom Brady?
Yeah, I'm gonna deflate it like Tom Brady and cut it in half. I'm gonna give half to Mike McDaniel and the other half to Tua. like I said, again, I'm not a Tua guy by any means, but he played a very intelligent game today. Obviously, except that freaking punt and the muffled fumble. But, you know, he did exactly what he needed to do. Just hit some open spots, move in the pocket a little bit, climb it when he needed to.
Mike McDaniel made this offense easy for Tua today.
Exactly.
Like, he really
but that's what we talk about, though. You have to build a system around your players, not have your players fit a system. And I think that's the biggest problem when sometimes we see that either defensively or offensively. Like, you have to build a system around your players, because if you're asking players to do things they're not good at or they're uncomfortable with, like, it's not going to go well. So yeah, I'm giving it to Mike McDaniel.
I'm giving it to
Mike McDaniel. Oh, Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill.
Oh, well, yeah, that was the obvious one. Look at Eddie's gonna love this. You picking the safe ones always, like he tells you on COMPAS FC, picking the safe ones.
No, well, I mean, I thought Tyreek Hill had a great
it makes
game.
sense.
He just, and you gave it to the other two. So, but that's the thing, though. And even in years past, I thought that when the Chargers really needed it, the defense would always step up. But today, it didn't.
Nothing.
Today, it just didn't step up at the critical moment. At the critical moment, they just did not. They did not step up. So moving forward, I don't know what's going to happen, but I got to give it to Tyreek Hill. 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. They try to put everybody on him, and nobody could stop him. So very impressive. I was hoping that one of the players or somebody would say, "We'll see them again." But that was not the case. So
no storylines for you, Frown. No promo.
Exactly.
I still think the craziest part, and again, I give Tua credit for fitting it in there. How the hell is a Mike Davis at 6'2" not going to stop a fade over a Tyreek Hill who's 5, maybe 10?
Yeah,
just crazy.
But all right, well, I got to get back to it. I'm going to get back to writing and doing all that. Make sure you guys check out my stuff at the Sporting Tribune this week. We will try and have a guest on. So for the breakdown of the Tennessee Titans,
shout out.
Make sure you guys are on the lookout for that. But again, we appreciate you guys so much. I know this was rough for you guys, for Charger fans. I know it's rough, but just do what Dan and Daygo does and go to Moe's. But
shout out. The other thing I was going to say for now, real quick, you'll love this, is Charger fans. I know it's tough out there today, but just remember what, what was the dad's name in Urkel? Family Matters? Chris? No.
Carl Winslow.
Carl. Just do what Carl Winslow does when he gets angry. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me? You guys should look up that clip, by the way. That's absolutely hilarious. So, yeah, don't let it ruin your Sunday. Have a great Sunday. Let's get after it this week. It's another great week. It's like Coach Pompa says, the sun will rise tomorrow. Do not worry about anything. It's a new day. Let's get after it.
Well, I mean, and the thing is that you gotta, you gotta stay positive and everything, but there are some question marks.
I'm saying don't let it affect your day.
Well,
I don't let it affect my day anymore. I was texting Tommy. I was like, it is what it is. I can't do anything at this point. It is what it is. I've seen this song and dance too many times. Oh, yeah, here we go.
3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me? 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me?
Well, but again, we appreciate you guys so much. Hopefully, we brought you guys a
questions,
little bit of laughter,
comments, concerns. Raid the comment section. Where's my finger? Raid the comment section. We'll get back to you. Shout out to all you guys.
Again,
appreciate you guys.
Thursday, the preview will come out. Chargers Titans. We will have that. We'll try and get a guest on. And again, thank you guys so much for rocking with us. Again, any comments, questions, we will answer them on the show come Thursday. But thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your weekend. And remember, it's only game 1. So, as Aaron Rodgers said, relax. RELAX.
It's only game 1, Frau. You know what? Well, you've never seen 1408, but
I'm trying to go, and you're trying to keep me here.
You know what happens in 1408?
You're still trying to keep me here.
Okay, well, essentially,
I remember that one.
Just begun.